welcome everybody. It's Thursday, the 27th of September. We've almost lost another quarter. Today and tomorrow is the closeout of the third quarter. And, oh, I don't do that. I'd be in the shakes. I can't even have regular coffee. Somebody sneaks me in regular coffee instead of decaf. I'm a shaking like a leaf. In fact, caffeine and sugar there. All right, we'll try to give it a couple of minutes. We do have a buy signal on the S&P here at 29.18. It hit it. Dow's trying to go higher. It's at was it the primary pivot? Yeah, it's at the primary pivot now. Russell, ugh. NASDAQ. Try to be patient today. Russell's pulling back. NASDAQ going sideways, pulling back a little. And now we got the other ones coming back. Okay. This is what I expected. They rally into the open, give you a little bit of a rally or a reversal, and they'll flip it around. We've been having all kinds of flip-flops going on out there. David, to be honest with you, with this back issue, I'm not sleeping that well, and so therefore it takes me 45 minutes to an hour to kind of wake up in the morning. All right, that S&P starting to sell off pretty hard. We had a volatility flip in the NASDAQ and the Russell. Had one in the Dow as well. Dow looks like a possible short under what? Template load. Yeah, let's see if it gets under this 26,415 level. And there's the short in the Dow, but thanks for giving it to me really early, too late, huh? Would love for it to get us right down into that swing level here and then bounce. The S&P's at the swing level. Let's see what happens. The NASDAQ's going higher, bucking the trend there. We also got a short in the Russell, but way late. And it got right here at the swing level with the next level down below. Well, oh yeah, I've got one there already. Sorry. It's just off the chart there. NASDAQ stayed up near the highs. S&P and Dow are at session lows. I don't really like the NASDAQ here. There comes the Dow. We really need a bounce before I can go short there. I really, really do. Because we've got all kinds of support off here to the left, if you could see that. And the NASDAQ's pulling back a little bit. And there's a hopeful bounce. Let's see if we can deal with that. much of a bounce there. Now we're getting the bounce. See, right around the swing levels there. Nasdaq's up near the highs. If the Dow gets over 425, this blue dot here, I'm out here. We changed the colors of the dots a little bit overnight because some people were saying they were having trouble seeing them, so we changed to different colors. Lightened up the background a little bit. If you guys see anything that you don't like or whatever, let me know. And I'll just tell you tough. Oh, sorry, not exactly.
Order filled.
All right, we're in the Dow short. I'm a little concerned about that one. We've got support or congestion off to the left, so it's going to be a little bit of an issue. You know, this over here, but it's telling me with the trend right here and then the oscillators that we should go lower. So we'll see. I'm right at above this continuation pattern here. Continuation says it should go quite a bit lower. I'll have to give it some room because it's going to have to fight through that. Bounce. I'm going to go ahead and lower my stop down to that blue dot. We should resolve lower here. Maybe we might poke our head up above the. If we get above 10, we're going to be out. Really, we'll be in trouble. That notice how the trend line is kind of bending back upwards. We need ourselves another red candle. Well, we've got the dog barking, so that means that's a long, right? And I'm in the wrong side. Barking at the long guys next door. Yeah, still trying to stay below 210, 610, 410. I mean. Well, not looking so good. The momentums here are still good, but the R squeeze is not so great. It's telling me that it's used up a lot of its energy just to go where it's at. Probably got to be a loser here.
Order filled.
Okay. $80 probably not anything to be overly concerned about. Trying to get a reaction in the S&P and the Nasdaq, just kind of grinding higher. Really difficult to see that one. And we're back above 415 in the Dow. Above this, we could get a long here pretty soon. Oh, there goes the S&P. There was a spurt of buying right there. Nasdaq just broke out and gave a long signal at 36. looking the other way. It only did took a couple of seconds looking away. Now I need the Russell to stabilize or pull back. Well, it just happened to be this time. I was telling my wife about the bark signal to go long. Was it a long bark or a short bark? Yeah. Look at that S&P candle on a 3. Let's take it to a 2 and see what happens. Yeah. You see how we were flat in the pre-market? We're just establishing ourselves a trading range right now, it looks like, in the S&P. The Dow and the Russell have already established theirs. The Russell lows are about 1693 half, and the highs are, I call it 1700, plus or minus a bit. That round number in the Russell is going to be a tough nut to crack. I'm seeing the Russell in shop at the moment. Put the NASDAQ on an 8 Unirinco. See how we got above that level here of 36. Got up to R1. Yeah, the 8 will work. All right, now it looks like we got another short in the Dow here. It's in chop. I don't see that I can take that though. That's just based on a fail to break out. So I'm not short the Dow at all. I don't see that. Did have a volatility flip. If we can get back down again below 14 or so, maybe. But then the targets are down below. You'd have to go to a new low to reach target 3. I'm going to go with the fact that we're in chop at the moment. Look at the trend line here in the S&P. That's pure definition of chop. And they're large chop in the Russell and the Dow. Dow over 452. Could be long there. NASDAQ it's at R1 and going higher. S&P going higher. The Russell's actually back up to the highs of the day, but the top part of the range, 1700. That's a nice big round number, and that's actually a swing level at the moment, just under it. Do have a continuation pattern here on the 8 unit Renko for the NASDAQ. Hard to buy that though. There's continuation new day high in the S&P. Well, that was the first move, and there we go with the S&P. Yaha! And the Russell just gave a long at the high of the day, though. Hard to take those. There was the is that a failed breakout? See what happens if it comes out to primary pivot here around 18.5 on the Dow, S&P. Just hit the volatility stop and the CPT stops in the NASDAQ. Dow pulling back. I still think this is big time chop here with the Dow. That's what I see. See the trading range in the Russell even more pronounced. You can see it's between this level here. Oops. The lows here around 93 and the highs right here around there. Now what do we have to the left? Above this level though, we've got some room to run. See if we can get the Russell to form a continuation pattern there. Doesn't look like it's going to. NASDAQ came back to the breakout level around 46. Dow's coming back down to that 419 level again. Well, maybe that Russell is going to form that.
Order pending.
Okay, I've got a buy stop at 1700.6. That would mean that we are probably doing a continuation move. The momentum indicators are pretty high, though.
Order canceled.
Dow's looking more like a continuation to the downside.
Order pending.
The S&P came back to the breakout level. Let's see what happens there. Russell poked its nose over that 1700.6. Just don't like the momentum oscillators there. I do like the momentum and everything here on the Dow. I've got a buy stop down here at 19. The first target would be right around 19, about 00. Not looking like it's going to hit right now. Russell's pulling back from that. It's just consolidating right at that 1700 level, like we talked about. S&P coming lower. Dow trying to come lower with it. One of the problems is the Dow could just be in chop. And okay, Russell pulling back pretty hard. Off of that, it could not get over to 1700.5. Looks like we're going to have maybe a continuation pattern here in the Dow. And that would be right down to there. About
Order filled.
okay. Going against me again. Probably should have let it do a zigzag around it first. And the momentum is starting to go lower. The S&P is coming lower, which helps. The momentums are okay. Let's expand this out. And I am above all these levels here, so still more of a chop. If it gets down here and forms a continuation pattern here, will be a higher probability, but not going the right direction at the moment. And the R squeeze is starting to point upwards. It's just really kind of flat, kind of showing that I shouldn't be trading.
Order filled.
Volatility stop. Well, 0 for 2. Yeah, I didn't make it. I didn't break out a chop. I was anticipating that if it broke down and followed through a little bit, this would extend, but it didn't. May have to be a little more, less aggressive and more conservative on those. It's looking back on it, it's definitely in chop. The first trade wasn't that bad. It just didn't follow through. Russell's trying to grind higher, but doesn't look like it has a lot of mojo. In fact, there's not a lot of mojo out there anywhere. Let's see what crude's doing. Is that a long or a short bark? Looks like a long bark to me. NASDOG. Gave a bicycle while I was looking at crude. Momentums are... This is just a grind. We pulled back to the breakout level, and now we're back out to the highs again. Coming up on 10 o'clock, still have 3 or 4 minutes to go. We looking at a 10 o'clock reversal? And if so, which one would actually benefit from that? I have a very interesting observation here. We had one long signal in the NASDAQ. We had one long, not a valid short, one in the Russell. We had one short and one long in the Dow. We've had very little as far as very few possible signals. Is the S&P going back up to 25, or is it going to just kind of stall here? What is it they say? Patience, hell, I want to trade something. We had a volatility flip in the Russell. NASDAQ could drop if it gets below 46.5. It's possible. We know exactly what's going to happen. do have a long signal up there on the S&P around 2920. And
Order filled.
along the NASDAQ.
Target filled.
Whoa.
Target
Oh
filled.
shit, I moved it the wrong way. Okay. I was trying to move it up and I hit the click. Alright. This is moving so darn fast. Well, we're back to flat for the day, but okay, so I was looking for move it up to this number 67 and a half. I just was trying to move it up. Let's see if it gets there. Well, it did this measured move over here, but it didn't really work. Let's see if the measured move works off of this one. That's what I was looking for. Something like that. Although I actually got in up higher. Let's see if that works. That would be target 3 up there. 71. Sure could have used a big winner today. In closer and closer. All right, I'll see how the others are doing. S&P broke out above 20 to 23. VJ, you here? You're right, David. Nice move. Well, we got to target 3. $56 ticks. $67.70. Russell still can't get any going. Dow's going in. It got a long here. Oh, there goes the dog again. 1 second. Buddy, come here. Come sit down and be quiet. Go on, sit down. Well, after it hit that measured move, it pulled right on back. Target 3 and then pulled back on the NASDAQ. Just bobbing and weaving, isn't it, Russell? Well, the Dow and the S&P are forming classic bullish patterns to me on the dailies. There's the there's the S&P up, pull back to support, the breakout level, and then look at the Dow classic, and the Nasdaq's not so much, but it is going higher. It's basically climbing this wall of worry. We're coming back up to all-time highs again. But then the bastard child just out there in no man's land. I have no idea why people think that the the Russell stocks are so poor. Anyway, we're looking at. You still have to return to 700 as soon as possible. Oh, as possible. And which index is that, RJ? All right, looks like the Dow's about ready to break. Oh, sorry, the Russell's about ready to break under 1700, 1698. Somewhere in this ballpark. Maybe if Russell breaks under 97 and a half, I'd love to see a zigzag here. Well, there's a
Order pending. Order filled.
well. Let's try the Russell here. I could use a winner. That was a stupid entry. Let's look at it. This was showing chop, and I was right there on top of a swing level. Should have let it do the zigzag the second time down. See, I wouldn't. Now it's going to go lower, or if it does go lower, I would not have had to take any of the heat. But you know, I'd get in at a different level. But whatever. Still hasn't broken. Got to get below 97.5. Momentums are pointing lower. That helps. The trend line's not, so price is not moving. But the momentum. See, we get an S&P rally, looks like a Dow rally, and NASDAQ rally, and I'm short the Russell. Okay. Definitely want it to be on its own page right now. And we have the chop signal right in here. We're in the Stop zone. Well, I'm in it, so I need to give it room. Dow looks like it's doing some sort of possible continuation lower. S&P still pretty strong along with the NASDAQ. $10.10. The longer it stays at this level in the Russell, the more it becomes a support level. Love to see a breakdown right now. Love to see the Dow. Looks like it's doing a continuation move lower. Need follow through on the Dow. The Russell will probably come through. NASDAQ getting a little weak. Next level of area of concern for me is 1697. Lowered my stop down just a little bit. And that Dow's working. And take our bounce right there at that swing level. Well, let's look at the rest of the markets. Is this going to give us a continuation candle or pattern? I hope. That'll give us reason to believe.
Target filled.
I like that sound. Okay. Looks like target 3 is in play. I'm going to take it to break even plus. If it goes back up there, I don't want to be in. The Fibonacci, sorry, the expansion 1-to-1 takes it lower. Possibly, oops. Pretty close to my target 3. Having trouble getting through all this stuff to the left. Well, don't like what I'm seeing there. Needs to go down from here. S&P's holding in there pretty tightly. Dow pulled back a little bit. NASDAQ looks like it wants to try to bounce up a little bit. Okay, looking okay now on the. One thing that's getting me is the R squeeze is not cooperating very much. it to stop a fraction more. If we bounce, we get anything above right here, we're going to be out. We're probably trying to form some sort of consolidation pattern there. My body wants to close it.
Order filled.
Okay. We're into minor gains for the day. And did the right choice by getting out. It just wasn't going to follow through. Yeah, it wasn't a great trade. It did show more patience than I normally do. That's right. All right, I'm going to step aside and get something to wet my whistle. I'll be right back. Ready, buddy? Come here. Come on. Come on, buddy. Here you go. Okay, he's back. There is one thing we need to remember. This is Friday is the end of the quarter. They could be doing some window dressing here and playing silly buggers with some of our. Oh, hold on a second. Steve Reiser may help you. I'm doing all right. What you need? Okay, there's two B. Let me give you the credit card number. Is that what you want?
Let me see.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let me pull it out. Hold on. I had it right in front of me, but it was still in the thingy. Let me make sure I get the right one. What was the date? 90, yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. It's 5774 4223 4128 8610.
Perfect. And you wanted the plan. I want to make sure I put you on the correct plan.
Okay.
9.9%.
Bless you. 9.9%. What's
Yep,
that?
and it's 2% of the balance.
Sorry.
Your interest rate is 9.9%, and your payments based on 2% of the balance.
I thought there was so many months interest free. Was it not true?
Okay, I do have a 12-month interest only,
In,
and it has to be paid off in 12 months.
you say interest only or interest free?
Let me see.
You
No,
said
I'm sorry. Let me back that up.
right.
I was reading the wrong line. No interest is paid in full within 12 months.
Correct.
Sorry.
That's what we're going
Is
to
that the
do.
one that you want?
Yes, ma'am.
I apologize for that one.
Well,
Go
you were
ahead.
just testing me to see if I was paying attention.
I think I was just testing myself to see what I was talking about. So let me see. It's for $6,815, and we're going to put you on the 12-month no interest.
Correct, and then we'll get a minimal payment per month, right? They'll ask us to pay a certain amount per month, I believe.
And they'll ask you to pay a certain amount per month, but the whole balance has to be paid in 12 months.
That's no problem. All I need to do is get beyond, get into open enrollment period, and we'll get enough money to cover it all.
Gotcha. I mean, because people think in 12 months that you'll get another payment option, and that's not
Oh,
how it works.
no.
It goes up to like 27%.
Yeah, no. We did this with our house a year and a half ago, and we basically floated it for 3 or 4 months, and that paid it all off.
Perfect. So you know the drill then. I'm going to go ahead and set this up right now.
Thank you very much. You have a wonderful day, great weekend.
Thank you. You as well.
God bless. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Sorry, credit card calling. All right, looks like the Russell just gave us another short. I'm not in it. I'm not going to be in it. It does look okay, but not great. But yeah, we would have to get to the lows to get even to target one. So. There's no way I'm going to rush into it at the last minute. I'm glad to see that Amazon getting up there. My daughter's been vested in a number of shares in Amazon. I don't know how many she got. Sign-on bonus. Maybe it was only 5 shares or something like that. But 5 of a $2,000 stock is it's nothing to sneeze at. The Dow's kind of in chop. S&P, after we did this big push back here at 10 o'clock, it basically has gone sideways. We've kind of got a new trading range. Let's set this up. Oh, that was the wrong one to do. There we go. That's pretty much the trading range. So let's get over 29.25, which it could do. We're going to have a really long year. My mother's almost given up. A true fanatic stays in there regardless. You take solace in moral victories. Like last week, we got killed on the scoreboard, but it was actually only a 14-point game going into the fourth quarter. A couple of special teams mistakes killed us. Yes, I just saw that. I'm about to say the same thing, David. And guess what? The Russell's down at the lows. Boy. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, this doesn't feel like a really easy day to trade. We're going to have to be careful. Again, end of quarter. Got a lot of window dressing going on. Probably got we probably got some games being played out there with the stocks, or will, for the next day and a half. One thing I do recommend that people not do is, or recommend staying out of the market on Friday afternoon. Dow looks like a breakout along with the S&P. There is no buy signal though, other than the breakout. And we know how well breakouts and breakdowns have been working lately, huh? Okay, coming up on 10:30, another reversal time. I'm going to let you guys in on a little thing that I'm doing, but it's not really ready for prime time yet. But what I've been doing is I've been toying with replay type stuff of things like we get a bounce here and then a reversal going short, maybe right here with the stop just on the other side, and seeing if we can get to target one, and then maybe some follow-throughs right in here at the bottom, the bottoming process, and with the oscillators and it going long, maybe at a break of the ATR type of thing, and see how that works. But that's more the V bottoms and V tops is more what I used to do in day trading stocks rather than breakouts, so we could have at least more than just one type of setup that we're looking at. So that would be useful. Yeah, it looks like that Dow breakout is working. The S&P isn't. What's my UNH doing? breakout is working. Not sure I could have seen that one though. Well, I saw it, I just couldn't trade it. Yeah, Buddy's barking. He's trying to protect me from those evil trash guys. There's our doggies. Lilo here on the left, Stitch in the middle, and the Buddy on the right. He's a big one, 95 pounds. Big monster. He's a big softy. I said 85 to 90, or sorry, 90 to 95% or something like that, or 85 to 95. It's just some number way up there, close to 100. It does tend to work. I mean, all depends on. We're getting a bounce again. It doesn't say how big it's going to be. The bounce zone is reasonably tradable. My daughter just texted me and said, I've just transferred the money over to the solicitor for the closing. That's so much money I can't take it. I'm so nervous. All right, looks like the NASDAQ is failing right here at 76.63. Let's see if we could get a bounce. If we can get a bounce up to about 67 or so. On cue, come on. And then a breakdown lower. We'd probably go to 57. Oh, man. Come on, bounce. Got to be patient and let it bounce. Russell's down at the low, but it looks like it's trying to bottom. Our S&P is still up there in that trading range. I'm going to raise it just a little bit. Got a bullish continuation pattern possibly happening in the Dow. Oh yeah. It would be a buy right now. It is 26,500, which is a key level. All right. I'm gonna
Order pending.
got a potential for a breakdown in the NASDAQ. I'm not sure do I like that or not. I don't like that.
Order canceled.
I plenty of time for it to work. Not sure what that blue line was supposed to be. S&P and Dow are at the new highs. Russell hovering around the lows.
Order pending.
Now I'm starting to like the Dow, the Nasdaq short. The 10-year Renko doesn't look nearly as good as the 8 on the Nasdaq. Russell down at the low of the day. Well, no, not low of the day, but the low of this run. It actually had lower earlier in the day. I don't like where the Nasdaq. That's
Order canceled.
That's killed where my stop was going to be, so that makes it easy. Yeah, I see that. 1037. No buy signals there in the Dow. There was this continuation candle here pattern. Now, when you draw these arrows, the slope of the line needs to be the same. So what I did over here is not correct. Right over here, this needs to match the slope, because then the distance down below would be less. Nasdaq just in chop. If I hadn't taken and canceled the buy, I'd have been taken in. And maybe taken to the cleaners. Russell's in a bounce mode. Chopping. Really probably got to get over probably 99, 1699 to break the chop in that. We've got to do a breakout to 76, 75. I think I remember that number in the NASDAQ, or under 62. Well, it does depend upon what. Are you looking at my chart here? Or are you looking at your own on a 2-minute? Let's look at a 3. Now you see why I like the NASDAQ? Burst sideways, up, sideways, up, sideways. Getting kind of late in the day, you know, you get 3 or 4 moves up like that, you can't keep expecting a lot more. Well, the problem with that is you have more volatility, and you probably didn't have a wider stop. So it's it doesn't come for free. We just got a buy signal in the Russell. I don't believe it. If we get over 99, I can be a believer. Could be just that it's an early signal. Yeah. Remember, we haven't been getting a lot of follow through either. The Dow hasn't worked so badly today, Pablo. Not really. We had for signals. There's a valid signal there for long. Didn't really have much of a winner. We had no signals there. We had a signal here that got target 1 and some. And I believe, no, we didn't get any signals over here. Howsoever, this was a break of swing level. And this obviously around the swing level we had a continuation pattern that worked. If you'd been long from down here or up there, either one of them would have worked. Okay. Are you talking about back over here, these two? I normally do them in ticks and whatever. Dollars means number of contracts, Pablo. So if you do it in per contract, then you could multiply out if you had 1 or 2. But you know, we had, let's call that 76.36. We only best got maybe 56, 36, that's 20 times 4 is 80 ticks. So if you got basically half and half, 20 and 20, 20 and 40, that'd be 60. What's that, right? It's 35 and 55 is 20, right? So 10 and 20 is 30. points. Points, Steve, points. Now multiply that by 4. 30 times 4 is 120 ticks. Times 5 is $700 or $800. Yeah, okay. I see where you came up with that. Little slow this morning. My apologies. Yeah, $600. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Okay. Yeah, and I was counting on a 2. Where do you get a 50-point move? You talking about down there? You talking about all the way up? There wasn't 85. Maybe from down here at 31 and 50 would be 81. We didn't get that, Pablo. I'm confused. Oh, from the open. Yeah, I'm talking about. Okay, talking about what we could trade. Not trading this one. I would trade this trade right here. The best I could see is 40. And then maybe right in here, you get 57 to 72, that's 15. Times 4 is 60, times 5 is 300. You could get your 1,000, but here's the deal, Pablo. You could say, oh, well, if I got in the open, stuck with it all the way to the high. But that doesn't happen. That's not realistic. Realistically is looking at these two levels here and to determine what you should have been able to realistically get. Okay, and then looking at this one here, what you could realistically get. There's 2 trades. They end up to be a little bit short of what you said, but almost the same. Using 2 contracts. And that's more realistic about what could happen and what we should be able to do. But right now, we're kind of approaching the highs here, but it's going to be pretty tough. It's kind of late in the morning. It's 10:50. Let me go look one more time. Overall markets. Crude oil just hanging up here at the highs. Now we could either break higher, it's going to have to be news driven, or we go lower, which is my expected direction is lower at crude. Well, we're down to 88 in the gold. We're up 16 in the S&P. See where if we close above that trend line and then we go higher tomorrow. Well, there's still a lot of trading to go. There's the Nasdaq going up towards the swing. Once we open positive today, I said we were probably going to attack these highs somewhere. Didn't have the conviction to put my money where my mouth was. Nasdaq may be trying to bottom here, but the 1690, 1700-ish area. The Dow's up 100 now, and it looks like it wants to curl up. The VIX is now down to 12. No fear right now. Russell's pulling back hard. NASDAQ's giving us a buy signal above 76. I don't know. So 76, 75, 25. It would be long and wrong, possibly. Although the momentum oscillators here, the slow and the fast one, they're both kind of neutral. Yeah. I assume you mean RTY and IWM not ready for prime time. That was a Freudian slip. IWM is very trying. And then when I tried to short it, it wouldn't work. Now, to me, up here at the highs and rolling off, that was a fairly an aggressive trade, but I don't think stupid for this kind of short it. Your stop would be pretty well defined. Dow looks kind of weak here. Let's say that it's probably coming back right here to 485. Maybe as low here as 75. So 85 to 75, somewhere in there. That's a nice bounce in the Dow. So, sorry, bumped you. NASDAQ back up to the highs of the day, approaching that entry point. Just not showing a whole lot of mojo there. back out. That's what I see for the trading range right now in the NASDAQ. But we were in one over here. We broke out. We're in here now. Are we going to break out of it as well? How many breakouts could you expect in one day? We've already had 2 to 3. Depending on whether you count that first one as 2 separate breakouts or one. I would consider it to be one. I want to talk about, there we go. I consider this to be one breakout. I think I just discovered something that I didn't know existed. Huh. It doesn't work. Okay. Never mind. Up. The big dog's barking. Russell has a short under 97.4. Oh, that's on a 4. Don't want to be taking that. It did have a short way over here at 97.9 and it's been bouncing around on it. I'm bored. Times like this have to Bark oscillator just canceled. Okay. Well, it's working. I did say that I thought it would get up to the swing level. Thought it was going to be this afternoon, but the highs 76.97. We're within slinging distance of that all-time high in the NASDAQ. NASDAQ just hit target 1. The risk was 38, target 1 is 28, 2 is 44, and 3 is 60. Oh. Now the oscillators are starting to point up a bit. They're lagging. Well, I pointed out the trading range, pointed out the breakout, and didn't take it. I talked myself out of it. The Russell actually has a buy signal there. You gotta be kidding me. Dow's up at the high. New day high on the S&P. Excuse me. If I went long every bark that we had here, I'd be out of money in about 2 days. They bark all the time. Okay, we're going to go up to target 2. Target 2's at 86. Target 3's at 90. Well, they hit a rough bump in the road in Arizona. And I'm sure the Giants would love nothing more than to put the final nail in the coffin. Looks like Colorado lucked out in catching a break of finishing at home against 2 teams that have been demoralized because they didn't make the playoffs. However, when the season started, you looked like those were going to be 2 teams that would compete for the pennant in their division. You had expected it to be difficult for them. Got a possible high wave doji forming in the NASDAQ. We'll have to watch and wait until it finishes. It will never finish with a high wave doji because it's a Renko chart. Yep, pulling back from 82, it looks like in the NASDAQ. Only going to get target 1. That's nice, Bill. But if they make the playoffs, they could be playing and fighting snow and really cold, yeah. Is it damp out there or is it pretty dry humidity? The worst is San Francisco. It's cold and wet, just like England. Terrible. It chills you all the way to the bone. When you go out shopping or whatever, you come back in, it takes me hours to thaw out. And it's not cold. We're not talking about freezing. But, low 40s and wet. Markets have slowed down quite a bit. It's 11 o'clock. My wife got me a new t-shirt. It arrived over the weekend. Let me show it to you. I'm more likely to forget than to forgive. Oh boy. Oh. Nasdaq's coming back to the breakout level. S&P selling off a bit. Here's another good one. I put the pro in procrastinate. What is it? My motto is, my wife says, never put off till tomorrow what you can put off till next week. Never put off till next week until you can put off till next month. All right, Russell heading lower. Going to attack that intermediate low. Not really tradable, to be honest with you. And looks like the NASDAQ is back in the old trading range. See if the Russell does a double bottom here. Dow, let's look at that puppy. Below 492. Does it have some room? Don't know. S&P pulling back a lot. It's changed character by now. There's the bounce. And Russell. $11.15. Oh, are we bored to tears yet? None of this is tradable. All right. Well, congratulations, Pablo. I'm not sure how I did it because I'm green, but not by a lot. Ah. The Dow was an easy one to trade though earlier. You know, let's look at the open. So at the open we had a bit of a rally and then we had a sell off, and I think that the sale, we should have had a sell signal way up here to go, but we didn't. Long that didn't work with these. I went short there. It didn't really work. The long worked here. Target one. And then this one right here worked okay. So not bad, not great. What I like about the Dow a lot is that it does allow me to control my risk quite a bit easier. Does move a little slower. big dog. And that'll work for a while. Then you'll find you may have to keep bounce around from index to index. Oh, I know what's happening. They're probably got a delivery going. Good boy, Stitch. Come on. Hey, buddy. What are you barking at? Huh? What are you barking at? Is there a delivery? You trying to let them know? Huh? Right here. Oh, it's Carol in the market. Just give it a minute. 10 or 15 minutes and then we'll be done. Stay there. Oh, come on in. Okay. I've had about as much fun as I can stand today. And we're probably going to gyrate around and go basically nowhere, okay? We may have spurts where we go up or down, but the best that institutions want to be able to reposition themselves for window dressing. That's less important than it used to be, probably, but it's still important enough that they show that they're in the winning stocks and stuff like that if people look at it. But you know, the bottom line is if you haven't held it for that portion of the market move, then you're not going to benefit from it. So that your percentage gain or loss is great. But it is into the quarter, you know. So I think for those who think that window dressing is important, I'm not sure. I really don't know. It could be less important than it was. All right, it's 11:20. Do you guys want the markets to start moving for you? I can go ahead and call it a morning and say I'll see you tomorrow, and that way the markets will start moving for you. So I'm just being helpful.